Hi, everyone. Welcome to another Homeschool Live. I'm Heather with the Old Schoolhouse. And today I will be interviewing Charlotte. She is the crew manager with the Homeschool Review Crew, a division of the Old Schoolhouse. And I am so excited for you to hear from her. But before we dive into what the crew is, how you can become a part of the crew, how you can get involved, Charlotte, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. I live in Northern California, and we have my husband and I have four lovely children. I'm actually nearing the end of my homeschooling journey. They were all homeschooled from birth, but I only have one left, which is
Aww.
really bittersweet. It's really just a different phase of our life that's coming. And our son is married and has a baby. We have a sweet grandbaby.
Aww.
And my two daughters are in college, and then my last daughter is a junior in high school. So
Wow.
yeah, so it's been an amazing journey, and I wouldn't have traded it for anything.
Well, that is incredible. And I can't imagine what it's going to be like to be near the end.
It's very weird. It's very weird. Yes,
You still have a few years.
Yeah, I do. I've got a couple more years, but then like the little grandbaby, I'm thinking, oh, this is another opportunity, another generation of little ones to see if to educate. So
That's right.
yeah,
So you are the crew manager,
I am.
and I would love if you could share for those watching who do not know what the crew is. Can you explain the crew?
Yep. It's a neat team of homeschooling families that review products. The name Review Crew. So how it works is we have vendors or companies that send products to our reviewers, and they use them in their homes. So we actually we have a team of leaders, three of us, and we create forms for each of the products that we review. And then each of the reviewers will fill out that form, and they'll let us know how interested they are in reviewing it. They can put how it might bless them, how they might use it. And then we create the list of reviewers from the responses on that form. And then the vendor or the company will send the product to those families, and they'll actually use them in their homes for about 6 weeks. That's kind of what sets us a little bit apart from other review companies, because we actually use those products in our homes with our children. And after about 6 weeks, they will write their reviews, and then they post them on their blog. They can actually write reviews on Facebook. They can write them on Instagram, and they can also vlog. So we've got a wide range of places that they can write those reviews. And then they write those reviews based on their experiences. So they're really just firsthand, information about how they used it and what they thought of the product. So it's a really neat team.
And if somebody receives the product, they're receiving it for free, but they're not required to necessarily give a glowing positive review, are they?
Correct. That is correct. No, we ask for honest reviews. We want the reviews to be honest. We want them to be their opinion, but we do ask that they're respectful, that they're Christ honoring. But we definitely want to hear, this didn't quite work well for my child, but there's probably a child out there that would absolutely love this, because we know as homeschoolers, there's all sorts of different ways to learn.
Right. That's a really good point. And, thinking about what the crew is, and on the blogger side or the influencer side, they receive these products completely free. And that almost, somebody watching this or hearing about it the first time might be like, what's the catch? Or, is this for real? But if you think about it, you realize that really what you're doing by joining the crew is you are a part of marketing. And that's why a company would purchase the reviews from the crew, because they want to market their product using these reviews. So it benefits both sides. And, there's definitely a lot of get rich quick schemes out there, but this is not one of them. And both of us can testify to that. Before I began working at the Old Schoolhouse, I was on the crew for years, and it was such a blessing for my family because I was able to receive all these products, check them out. I never would have heard of them before. And it was it was unbelievable. So I just want to testify, that this is a legit opportunity for people who are looking for products to review on their blog. And I just think it's great.
It's yeah, and that's actually how I found the crew. Was I was looking for something for my daughter when one of my daughters really struggled with reading and math, and I was looking for something for her, and just was Googling and came up upon a review, and
Wow.
and I realized, oh wow, there's actually people out there that are deliberately writing about these things and then sharing about it, and it's, you're right, there are so many things that we review that I would have never have found if it wasn't for the crew. My daughter has dyscalculia, where she just can't, she struggled with numbers for years and years, and we reviewed something called Times Tales, where it's a totally different way of looking at math, and to this day she still uses the concepts that she learned
Wow.
to retain her math facts. And so I don't think I would have ever found that if it wasn't for the crew. So there's just so many different things that we review. We review math, history, hands-on science experiments, full curriculums, online products. It's really, the list is quite extensive of what we review. And you know this because you were on the crew as well at one point.
And I love how you shared that about Times Tales, because you had no idea that that method even existed. And I think when parents, well, maybe even with the pandemic, they're coming into homeschooling, they don't know how to teach their child. They're realizing, okay, maybe my child struggles with this. How do I help them? And like you said, you Google, you search, you look, and you can even go on the Homeschool Review Crew page and search in there and see, right, for certain subjects and different products, so you can see reviews for maybe something that a parent is looking for. And I think it's such a great tool and resource, because I mean, going into homeschooling, you have no idea. There's no parent does, no teacher does, and so it's just so awesome to see the different things out there.
Well, and homeschooling has exploded in the last couple of years, and to have your kids at home with you, and now you're educating them, it can be incredibly overwhelming. And that's where being able to look at reviews to get an idea of curriculum is so helpful. And our website, it's actually really, really easy to check out. You just click on math, and then you get to see all the math reviews, or click on language arts, and so we really, it's a really great resource for anyone that's homeschooling right now. Not only is it a benefit to be on our team, but we like to help others as well, other homeschoolers. And it's so important to be able to see how others used things instead of just blindly buying something.
Right.
Exactly.
I mean, if you're not able to go to a homeschool convention, one of the benefits of going to a convention is you can look through, physically look at the pages in the curriculum. But if you can't do that, this is the next best option, because, like you said, you had some vloggers that are showing the product. You have, very detailed blog posts, and, where people are showing how they're using with their kids. So I think that's incredible.
Exactly. Yeah. No, and that's what, our reviews, it's not just describing the product, but it's how they used it. And even, as as a homeschooler, there's so many different methods of homeschooling. There's, the from the unschooling to more classical education, and being able to, see how these different things, how our kids learn differently. All of that is so, it's so helpful to know that. And so seeing that in reviews, that's why we have like a really diverse group of people on our team. And so it's great. We can see how this person used it, how this person used it. So yeah, it's very, very helpful.
So I would love to know, you obviously touched on this, but why is the crew so important for other homeschoolers?
It really, I think it's encouraging to them, because they can see that how we use the different products. It's just a great resource. It's a great place to find out more about products. It helps homeschoolers. It also might just help anyone, because I'll tell you a real quick story. We love to visit our library, and as homeschoolers, you really get to know the librarian. And I think at one time I was talking to her, and I mentioned that I reviewed products And she said, "Oh, I'd love to read, where is your reviews? Where can I read them?" And so I shared my blog with her, and the crew reviewed something called Mango Languages, and we loved it. I actually used it for foreign language for my younger kids, and she read my review and liked it so much that she actually purchased it for our library.
Wow.
So, and that's someone that I thought, she's not going to be interested in anything I review. I'm a Christian homeschooler, and you just never know. And so that's kind of encouraging for the people on our team. You never know who's going to read your reviews and realize, oh, this is perfect. I need it. So it's neat to see how far of a reach we actually have.
Exactly. That's a good point. And I mean, that's beneficial both for homeschoolers and then also for the companies that purchase these reviews. Like every single crew member has a completely different reach. You have no idea who they're reaching. So it's just so beneficial for them.
It really is. And we have them write their reviews on social media or blogs or YouTube, but then we also have our reviewers take that link and share it. So it's like triple shared all over the place. And so we have had really positive feedback from companies that see just this boost on social media when they have their reviews written and shared. It's really neat. It really benefits them as well.
Awesome. Well, I would love if you could get into the nitty gritty and tell us what exactly goes into these reviews.
Yeah, so we asked them to describe the product in detail, what your first impressions were, how it works. Sometimes things are more teacher labor intensive. Sometimes it's a little bit more student directed. And so describing what's in it. We also asked for them to describe how they used it. So, that's, like I said, what sets us apart, they actually use it for those 6 weeks. And so how many times a week did you use it? How far did you get into the book, or how far did you get into the unit? We also asked them to look over the product as a whole. So if it's a year-long math program, we asked them to, skip ahead and see where it's going, what other things are covered, because you obviously can't get through the whole book in the 6 weeks. And then we asked for their opinion. Like I said, we want honest reviews. And most of the time things work because we don't ever require them to write a review on something. So they're going to, probably want that product. So most of the time it's something that worked well for you. But I've reviewed things where it just did not work for one of my kids. But like I said, there's somebody out there reading a review that's going to go, oh, no, this is actually perfect for me. So and then we have them put images in their reviews. I love pictures. I'm very visual. So I love to see the inside of the book or, samples of the work the students are doing. That's always super helpful. So we have images that we ask them to, put up, and it shows also how much they used it and what helps you, the reader, to understand the product that much more. So and then, like I said, we have them share those reviews out on social media and people to invite them to come back and read their review. So it's a really neat way for these homeschoolers to encourage other homeschoolers as well.
That's awesome. It's true. I mean, I found myself, and somebody is new to homeschooling or even been homeschooling a long time. I'm like, what do I do for this subject? And I can say, okay, maybe this didn't work for me, but I think you would love this.
Exactly.
So being exposed to the different types of curriculum is incredible.
It is. It really is. Yes. Yeah. And there's so many different things. Like I said, we sometimes have repeat companies that come through. And so it's neat to I'll have my older child use a book, and then a couple years later it will come through again, and then it goes to my next one. So it's really neat to see all of the different products that I would have never found, honestly, if it wasn't for the crew.
And I love that there are repeat customers, because it shows that they see the value in the crew run, and then they had a great experience the first time around, so they want to do it again.
Exactly.
So that's wonderful.
Yes, it is. Yeah. We have, I think, Homeschool in the Woods. I don't know. Do you remember?
Oh yeah, very lap book and very
Yes.
hands-on.
They are one that comes back year after year, and they have so many fun products and hands-on things. We also review a lot from Memoria Press. Artistic Pursuits is another one. There's so many so many different companies, and then there's little tiny companies that are just starting out, which is super exciting. I loved when I would review and I see this little product come out. I remember we reviewed a writing prompt book where it like had a couple of sentences and then the student would, continue the story. And it was just this little homeschooling family that had started this company. And I loved promoting them because they were helping homeschoolers. And so it was neat for me to think, well, my little review is helping them, further their reach with this amazing little product that they created.
Right. You see the whole picture, and that's really neat.
Exactly. Yes. Yes. Yeah.
I remember this one little picture book. I can't remember the company, but it was about teaching kids how to cross the street. And I got that years ago. I mean, I don't know how long the crew's been around. If it's been 10 years, it was probably 10 years, maybe not that long, but it was a long time ago. And I still have that book. And my younger kids, I mean, that's one of their favorite books. I never in a million years would have thought that they love it, but and I have to say it's lasted a long time, so it's sturdy. I wish I could remember the name of the company, but yeah.
That one doesn't ring a bell for me. I don't know when I'm not remembering that one. See, I think
it does exist.
You're like, I have it in my bookshelf.
Yes. But so that might be a good segue just to talk about what kinds of things you mentioned, several, and I sort of mentioned one, but what kind of things does the team review? It's
really anything. We will review full online curriculum at times. A lot of our curriculum is digital. That's a huge thing, which I used to kind of balk at because I wanted the actual paper. But then now I'm like, it's kind of nice to pick and choose what I get to print. And then it's right here. Mm-hmm. And then sometimes it can, some of the online curriculum is where you're actually online, typing in your math questions or math answers. And then we also have physical products, books that come to your home. We've reviewed so many different things. We've reviewed elective kinds of things. We've reviewed foreign languages, hands-on science kits. One time, I can't remember the name of the company, but it was a box and had everything you needed in it to do science experiments. And it had like a list of 10 of them. And that was a super fun one because, as homeschoolers, that's my weakness is science. And I loved it that it was all there, that I didn't have to run out to the hardware store to get, washers or something for the experiment. And then the directions were so simple and meant for a homeschooling mom that wasn't quite that great at science. So that was a fun curriculum. We review math, we review science and history. We do review a lot of Christian materials, so which is a plus. And we don't just review anything, not just anything out there. It's definitely chosen material that is wholesome and very good. So yeah, just the list could go on.
Right. Things. No, I hear you. And it's funny because there's some curriculum, we mentioned before companies you never even would have thought about, and you mentioned different styles. And I think the first time I had never even really heard of the Charlotte Mason style until we reviewed, this is called Golden Prairie Press. And this has become well loved, if you can see. I've used this many times with my older kids, and now I'm going to start using it with my younger kids. And I'm just so thankful because I was able to use it with older children and younger children at the same time. Comparable to there's many types of curriculum out there, but this one just seemed to work well for us. And it had crafts and recipes and really quality writing. I mean, this woman, Amy Putz, she's an incredible writer. So good. Her stories just kept my kids engaged, kept me engaged. And I was just so thrilled about this curriculum, and I was so thankful for the crew. And then you're going to laugh at me, Charlotte. I actually never heard of this curriculum until I joined the crew. Okay, now everybody, I hold this up well, like, that's Apologia, Heather. Everybody knows Apologia. But back then, I had never heard of it, and I was in love because the same thing. I could have all my kids, older ones, younger ones. The younger ones could be coloring. You could buy notebooks for them. And the company provided notebooks. They said, okay, what ages do you have? We'll give you the notebooks for the ages you have. And they were so generous. And, I don't want to just pick out certain ones. These are just ones that I've used over the years, but there are so many, like hundreds of quality products that have been reviewed. And it's just an incredible opportunity.
It really is. And Apologia, that's one that we do review quite often. And
Okay.
I'll tell you those, because after the review period, if it's a physical product, you can do with it what you want. But those Apologia books are staying in my bookshelves.
Yes.
They are for my grandchildren, because just all of the elementary science books, they're so fascinating.
Yeah.
I love how they're written. And so those are keepers. Those ones are staying here, and they're just, let's pull one out and read about chemistry,
Yes.
Those are excellent books. Yes, we love Apologia. That's so
Although
the crew introduced you to Apologia. I love it.
It's true. Yes. I feel like my kids are spoiled with it because, we do some other curriculums sometimes, like, oh, we've done that experiment. We did that with Apologia. Because there are a lot of experiments, but you can choose. I've talked to moms who they just read and they don't do any of the experiments, and that's fine.
Right.
So you can, any curriculum, you can make it work the way that fits best for your family.
You can. And that's the beauty of homeschooling, is you can tweak it. You can move around in the books. That's why we homeschool, so that I can, tailor that education for that child. Exactly. Right. Yes. Yeah.
So I think we really got into the benefit of receiving the free product for our kids if we're on the crew. But what are some other benefits to being on the crew? I know there's other ones. Can you share some of those?
Yeah, no, there's some really neat benefits to being on the crew. So like you said, you get to keep the product that you review. And then another big perk is you get a membership to schoolhouseteachers.com. You have not heard of this. This is an amazing website. There's classes, there's helps, there's schedules. There's a new thing they're doing that just came out, is the curriculum in a box, which is a full curriculum for each grade level. They are a really neat website. And so you do get access, a membership to schoolhouseteachers.com. You also can receive the print version of the Old Schoolhouse magazine. And then we also will hold webinars throughout the year, because our goal is to encourage our team members as homeschoolers, but then to also encourage them as they blog, as they're on Facebook, as they're on social media. And so we try to have kind of educational webinars where we talk about SEO, or we talk about the difference between keyword or hashtags and
Charlotte.
That's okay. That's okay. I know you said you were having a windstorm.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I just hear things flying outside. It's going to be so interesting to go outside and see where my trash cans are and everything else.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm getting an update from StreamYard saying they're having difficulty streaming. So we are just going to wrap this up. I was on the last question anyway. I really would love to share, or Charlotte, have you share how somebody can join the crew if they want to join right now.
Yes, we are taking applications. You can go to our website. I know it was just going across the bottom of the screen there, and you can fill out our application. We ask that you be homeschooling at least one of your children from pre-K all the way through 12th grade, and that you are active on either a blog, a Facebook blog page, which is public. So those are public and not a personal timeline or a group, a public Instagram, or a YouTube channel, any of those 4 platforms. And then you would actually just choose one to write your reviews on, and that you're established on that platform, that you've been posting on there for a couple of months at least. So I really am, and also you can email me if you have questions. My email is on that page that is going across the screen there. And I'm happy to answer any questions that anyone has about the crew.
Thank you, Charlotte. I just appreciate your enthusiasm for the crew and for everything that you do for TOS. I'm just so grateful for you. And again, head over to the website if you want to join. And I know this isn't your department, but I would just love to throw it out there for anybody watching who might be interested in purchasing a review. If you are a company that would like your product reviewed, I believe you can probably head over to email sales@theoldschoolhouse.com and reach out there, and you can get connected, because sure, Charlotte would love to take you on.
Absolutely. Yes.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Charlotte. I appreciate you taking the time out of your day. And anybody watching, well, first of all, I want to say thank you for tuning in. And Charlotte mentioned one of the perks of being on the crew is a free schoolhouseteachers.com member as long as you're on the crew. And if any of you are not on the crew and you do not have a membership, we have an incredible deal going on right now where you can purchase a membership for only $15 a month using code FinishWell. So head over to schoolhouseteachers.com and use code FinishWell, and you can get an incredible deal. And I will see you next time on another Homeschool Live. Bye.